What's going on, everybody? My name is Hussein the Brain, and these are my NFL DFS picks for week 3. Last week was a horrible week for us and my picks, and I want to apologize. It didn't quite work out, even though it was a crazy week and the injuries and whatnot. It wasn't just due to injuries. Some weeks are going to be misses. Nonetheless, it was a crazy week. Let's hope to get back on track this week. The number one game I'm going to be targeting is this Detroit Lions Arizona Cardinals game. It's in Arizona. By the way, Christian Kirk is out. I do like Kyler Murray. I think a lot of people will be picking him just because he's been absolutely balling, 30 fantasy points per game. He's been out of his mind, but I think I like Drake a little bit more. We'll talk about him with the running backs. My favorite quarterback is Cam Newton. There's just no way the Raiders are going to be able to stop Cam. They're going to sell out and try to stop him running, or they're going to sell out and try to stop him passing. I'm not too scared of these New England running backs. The only running back I'd be scared of is Cam if I was the Raiders defense. And so they're not going to be able to stop it anyway. So let's say they do sell out for the run to try to stop Cam from running and hurting him with his legs. I don't think they'll be able to do it. Because last week, I think the best guy to stop Cam would be Jamal Adams in the league. And they tried that last week, and he did pretty well. And Cam still balled out. What did he get? 38 fantasy points. Oh, my God. And just to think, if the Patriots won and they scored on that last play, he would have over 40 fantasy points. That's just insane. No way the Raiders are going to stop him. This team, this New England Patriots offense is all about Cam. And even if they do slow him down running, he'll be able to throw it. Edelman just broke his receiving yard record for his career with only his second game with Cam. So that speaks volumes. And if you've seen Cam play, which I think a lot of people have seen the primetime game versus the Seahawks, we know he's really good. Definitely no surprise there. A little bit more contrarian. By the way, I think we're going to be spending up a little bit more on quarterbacks and maybe spending up on defenses. We'll try to save with a couple cheap running backs. Maybe have one cheap running back, one cheap wide receiver. That way we can make it work. Cam is a little bit more on the expensive side. Not a big difference between bad quarterbacks and good quarterbacks as far as pricing. My favorite quarterback this week, Lamar Jackson, is priced kind of expensive, but he plays. He's not in the main slate, so he's playing Monday, so he's not on the main slate, which is what we concentrate on. So anyway, a little bit more of a sleeper. I'm not even going to say this is a super contrarian pick or anything, but he won't be heavily picked in tournaments and contests. I don't think so. And that's Matthew Stafford. He's got Kenny Golladay back. This is the game I'm targeting, so I'm going with Stafford. And you can stack him and be creative. You can stack him with DeAndre Swift, pass-catching running back. You can stack him with Marvin Jones, who's about medium priced. Or you could stack him with Kenny Golladay, who's a little bit more expensive, but still on the cheap side because he hasn't played this year. This will be his debut. Kenny Golladay is only $6,200. That's super cheap. So I love Stafford. Go ahead and stack him. That's a great pick. And it was tough, but I always try to give you those punts and contrarian plays. And this week, it's really tough to tell you guys this because of how bad he did last week. And I also recommended him as a punt last week. Was totally off. But I'm going back to the Kirk Cousins well one more time, baby. $5,500. That's going to save you a few $100 right there off the salary. Titans are only favored to win by 2.5, so it seems like this isn't going to be a blowout. Also, the over-under is really high. That means its projected total points is super high, 49.5. Some places might have it at 50. And so we got a potential shootout. We got not a blowout, hopefully, and both defenses are not good. The Vikings cornerbacks are just, let's just say they're non-existent. So I definitely could see a shootout here. And man, Kirk Cousins, I'd like to stack him actually with Justin Jefferson, super contrarian. But if you want to be somewhat normal, you don't want to be that bold, go ahead and stack him with Adam Thielen. Beautiful. Thielen should be able to do some things against this Titans defense. I think the Titans will turn it around, but as of right now, their defense is not good. Moving on to running backs. Again, Zeke and Henry, I got ranked as my top 2 running backs in terms of scoring this week. Of course, Kamara's there, but he's not in the main slate, and Christian McCaffrey's injured. So one guy I want to talk about that's not as obvious. I mean, still obvious, but not as obvious. It's not, the price isn't that great, but it's Jonathan Taylor, 7,000 going up against the Jets. Everything aligns. Jets defense is bad. Jonathan Taylor's an absolute stud. The talent is there. The O-line is there for the Colts. The game script is there. Everything adds up. And oh, by the way, as you already know, Marlon Mack is out. And guys, if you do enjoy these DFS videos as well as my waiver videos and awesome live streams we have, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, make sure you have that bell icon turned on so you don't miss future videos. We're doing about 7 videos a week, including live streams and the Patreon only live streams. So make sure you have notifications turned on. My favorite running back for GPPs, baby, Kenyon Drake. 6,000. Let's go. He's going to have a huge bounce back game. No other running back has more offensive snaps this year. Well, including the first 2 weeks. I'm not including week 3. That's Kenyon Drake. Even if you did include week 3, probably still Kenyon Drake. 108 offensive snaps. Yeah, Chase Edmonds is getting a ton of snaps too, but there's no team that outsnaps the Cardinals in general. They run such a fast-paced offense. They put up a ton of points. And eventually Kenyon Drake's going to score. I think this is the game right here against the Lions. The price is beautiful, and I don't think the ownership is going to be too high. Let's move on to the 5,000 and under range right here. Joshua Kelly, absolute beast. I mean, what has he done other than beast? He's going up against the Panthers. It's the absolute best matchup. Statistically, you can't get a better matchup than the Panthers. He's put up 12 fantasy points. He's put up 13 fantasy points, and I'm looking for him to put up about 18 or 20 fantasy points against the Panthers. That's pretty good, and I think I like it in I like that in GPPs more so because we got these other 2 guys who's $100 cheaper. Jerick McKinnon, one of my favorite GPP plays here, 4,900. The floor is not that great, but the ceiling is amazing. He's a pass catcher. He's explosive. He can hit those big home run hits and get you a ton of points off just one play. He's really good to get you that 100+ bonus as far as a running back. In receiving yards, too, he could get you that receiving bonus. So, matchup is there. Now, what's going to be chalky, and I'm probably not going to, I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to eat the chalk in some of my lineups. You guys know I like to enter multiple lineups. That's Devin Singletary, 4,900. Matchup is okay, but it's because Zach Moss is out. And he's going to be super chalky because he's going to definitely return value. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game exactly. But with his competition out, Devin Singletary will sure to double those fantasy points. And, yeah, I mean, I'm not, it says, 31st against running backs. I'm not reading too much into that. I don't think the Rams are great against the run or anything or running backs. But, I'm not saying that they're that bad. They're not as bad as the Panthers. It's only been 2 weeks, by the way, and that's what this data is going off of. Not enough data for us. Another great punt. We're going back to that same game. Am I going to be able to even find this guy? Is minimum priced. It's Jeff Wilson. These prices came out before the Zach Moss injury, before the Mostert injury, before the Tevin Coleman injury. So Jeff Wilson is still priced at 4,000. He might be the goal line back. He might actually get a lot more carries than Jerick McKinnon. Nonetheless, you can't really beat that price, 4,000 minimum price. You're just not going to be able to beat it. We talked about Swift with the Stafford stack, so he's okay if you're stacking him with Stafford. If you're not stacking him, he's still all right, but I think that's more of a what I call a contrarian stack. Okay, wide receivers. Not going over any super obvious names. So, Allen Robinson, 6,200. Love this pick here. He's getting the snaps. He's looking good. He just hasn't caught any balls yet. So he's only got 9 fantasy points per game. But this is the game right here against the Falcons where he can absolutely explode and be that Allen Robinson that we thought he was last year in that one special year he had on the Jags. I think this is the game. Just like Drake's going to have a huge bounce back game, I think Allen Robinson is going to have a huge bounce back game. 6,200 going against the Falcons. Let's do it. And oh, God, this guy. Will Fuller, I got here as a crazy GPP pick. His price sucks. The matchup sucks. And that's why I don't think anyone's going to pick him. Also, goose egg last week. It's safe to say that Will Fuller is super risky. This makes him a perfect GPP play. No one's going to own him. He's very inconsistent, which is good for us. We like those boom or bust plays. What do we need from Fuller? We need that one big play, and he can get that. It's exactly what we want in GPPs. Brandon Cooks, his teammate, much smarter pick. He's much cheaper. He's only 5,200. He has a better matchup as far as the wide receiver cornerback matchups goes. He's going to probably get more targets. This is the smarter pick. And that's why I do like Will Fuller even more in GPPs, because no one's going to own it. This is the obvious smarter pick. He's going to get more targets. He's going to be the main guy, like so on and so forth. So nothing against Brandon Cooks. It's just more about the tournament and what we're trying to do. We're trying to go for contrarian picks and upside, and that's Will Fuller all the way. I kind of found another gem for you guys. One that's like right in our faces, because people sometimes like to complain or look at the micro and they're like, in redraft leagues, I drafted Michael Gallup. Oh boy, it sucks. Actually, Gallup's not that bad. How I see it, the Cowboys got 3 really good wide receivers, and now they got Dalton Schultz, the running backs can catch. But Michael Gallup, actually, he's been getting a lot of snaps, guys. 144 offensive snaps for Michael Gallup, 143 offensive snaps for Amari Cooper. The targets will come. They're just playing, it's not, they don't, if you're Dak or you're Mike McCarthy, you're not thinking like, hey, let's spread the ball and get these guys fantasy points. Nobody cares. They're just trying to win. They're just trying to go to one of these wide receivers. And I do love CeeDee Lamb. He's priced only 100 cheaper. Right here, I have an advantage, or I'm actually very grateful that I talk to you guys and I hear what's going on right now. Everyone hates Michael Gallup in the fantasy world that drafted him and whatnot. They're all down on him. But I'm telling you, he's going to have a couple big games. And this could be one. This should be a high-scoring game. And again, I should have targeted the Falcons-Cowboys game last week more so. I targeted only a little bit because I just thought it was too obvious and a lot of people will target it. Well, they did, but I was wrong. You needed to target that game where there was like 80 points scored that game. It was insane shootout. But we got another insane shootout here slated to be this week, and I'm not going to be targeting it too much. I'm not going with these obvious picks, but a guy like Michael Gallup, though, I think is going to be great in a game like this where people might not go for Gallup because everyone's down on him. He just has, he's just not the guy right now. No one's excited about him. For 5,200, we got Deshaun Jackson. He's like the only wide receiver for the Eagles, other than Greg Ward and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Corey Davis. This one's a pretty obvious one, a pretty good one. I think he'll make his way into a good amount of lineups. Corey Davis, 5,200 in that Vikings-Titans game where we might see a lack of defense on both sides of the ball. Moving on to some cheaper plays. N'Keal Harry. Oh, my. And I don't want to overhype this guy based on the stats, but he did get 6 targets week 1. That doubled 12 targets week 2. Now, is he going to get 18 targets and 24 targets week 3? Probably not, but the price is there. He is the starting wide receiver for the Patriots, so I do like him. He maybe keep improving this year. So just another option to have. Like I said, 4,200. Good matchup. I don't know if Cam's going to throw the ball or just ball out as much as he did week 2, but hey, he is good. And just two more guys. Justin Jefferson right here. I was talking about him as a sleeper. I think the slot wide receiver has a really good advantage here against the tight end secondary. I really think he can do some things. He's not a guy I'm trusting. He's not a guy I like in redraft. But in terms of GPPs, he might be able to do some things. I think if Cousins stops just throwing to Adam Thielen, maybe uses Justin Jefferson a little bit more, it's going to help that team out a lot. This is nothing more than a crazy flyer, but I'm a bit crazy. That's how you win those GPPs. And a great punt for you guys is Damiere Byrd, who's actually gotten more snaps than N'Keal Harry. This guy's got a ton of snaps, a little bit of chemistry with Cam Newton here. And 0 targets week 1, 9 targets, 6 receptions week 2. Do we see another trend here for the Patriots? I think Damiere Byrd is a great punt play at wide receiver. And if you do want to spend up, get you a one stud running back, get you an expensive quarterback, expensive defense, you're going to need a guy like Damiere Byrd to help you out. Okay. And as far as tight ends go, this is just a straight up, just a crapshoot. Like this is really atrocious here. There's really nothing that stands out. Of course, Jordan Reed. I think a lot of people will pick him at 4,000 again with George Kittle out, but just make it work is all I gotta say. I like Drew Sample. Let's see. It's not low. Okay, there we go. Drew Sample, 3,500. If you want to save up a little bit, this could be a great player to get. I probably won't target Dalton Schultz just because of too much hype with the Cowboys and how he did ball out. I don't see him doing that 2 weeks in a row, but maybe just save money on tight ends. I think that's what I'm going to do. Get you a medium priced tight end and just hope for the best because it's just a total crapshoot. Who knows what's gonna happen? And I do like Hayden Hurst actually. He's priced at 4,700 with Julio Jones likely out. I think Hayden Hurst is gonna be a huge part of that offense going forward, regardless of what's happening. But just this week, maybe Hayden Hurst sneaks in and does some things. So yeah, sorry. Other than my tight end analysis is good luck, really. Such a crapshoot there. For the defenses, I would be willing to spend up and get the Colts. I'm going for the Colts here. It's just so perfect. They get the QB pressures. The matchup is there against the Jets. And by the way, no Brashard Perryman, no Le'Veon Bell. They're banged up at the offensive line. Also, Jamison Crowder ruled out. Oh boy, does everything line up for the Colts to go off. They're going to be well worth it. But if you do want some other options, of course the Steelers are good. They're 100 cheaper if you can't fit, if you really need that 100. The Bucks are 3,700, but I actually like the Chargers even more regardless of the price, and they're 100 cheaper. They're going against the Panthers with no Christian McCaffrey. Lots of upside for the Los Angeles Chargers defense. And I got a super sleeper for you guys. This one's crazy. Niners D. It's like the best defense last year in fantasy. But now that everyone's hurt, they are a sleeper. It's more of a contrarian pick. We don't need a contrarian defense the same, but nonetheless, it's going to be a sleeper pick. It's going to be contrarian. It's going to be kind of cheap. The matchup is great. They're going against the Giants with no Sterling Shepard, no Saquon Barkley. Giants kind of suck. I hate to break it to you. Bottom 3 team, bottom 2 team. Some people say they're the worst team in the league. And the Niners D could still do some things against the Giants. The price is amazing. This way you can save $600 if you absolutely need to. But I'm spending up a little bit on defenses. I'm not going for a super punt. Like, don't go for the Jets D or something like that, or the Texans D. Not even the Panthers. I wouldn't even go with the Panthers D. So Herbert's going to be a little bit inconsistent, unreliable, make some mistakes. But that defense is so bad that I wouldn't be picking him. Not to save anything. Well, there you have it, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to this YouTube channel. We also have a second YouTube channel, Fantasy Couch Podcast. Subscribe to that one as well. Smash that like button, and I'll see you on the next video / live stream. Going live every Saturday, baby. # beat the brain. Let's do it.